Hello, I'm Kevin Turner from Real Estate Talk, and my guest this time is Matthew Gross from the National Property Research Company. It was initially established as the sole research division for Herentide White in Brisbane. The company undertakes work across Australia but has a particular expertise in Queensland in the property market there, and that's what I want to talk to Matthew about. Hi, Matthew.
Good morning, Kevin.
Matthew, firstly, let's talk about Gladstone, the property market. How are you seeing that at present?
Look, Gladstone is probably getting towards the bottom of the cycle at the moment. What we are seeing is a reasonable amount of sales activity from owner-occupiers, but the most encouraging sign is that vacancy rates in most of the major real estate agencies for housing sits below 3%.
Wow. Okay. Well, how's it fared in the last year?
Look, last 12 months have been really tough for the Gladstone market. But having said that, one of the encouraging signs there is that there's been very little new supply added. So you haven't seen all of the, all of the projects up there putting new product on the line. So they've just gradually churned through it to the point now where we're actually seeing one of the major projects up there start some new lots. So, they're obviously confident that the local market is starting to rebound.
Yeah, a lot of speculation in that market in recent times too, wasn't there? But it's encouraging to hear that vacancy rate so low.
Yeah, look, I mean, it was horrible, to be perfectly honest. Spruikers from all over Australia were pouring people into Gladstone with little understanding of what that market actually was and how it operated. It's interesting that people get pushed into these things at the top of the cycle where they're probably better off starting their investigations now towards the bottom of the cycle.
Yeah, very interesting, and a very similar market in Mackay too, where they went through a very similar situation.
Yeah, that's right. And look, realistically, Mackay is probably 12 months behind where Gladstone is.
Yes.
And, if you go west of Mackay out to Moranbah, you've seen some significant losses there. I mean, there was a sale out there where someone had purchased a land for over 900, or house and land package for over $900,000 in 2012 and sold it earlier this year for $199,000.
Wow.
So. There's some real horror stories to go.
Yeah, just getting back to Gladstone, that market in particular, do you think there's any scope there in the short term for any good growth?
Look, I'd have to say that the market there at the moment is being driven by owner-occupiers. So they're going to determine where the market sits and where growth sits. Now, given that there is limited supply there at the moment, particularly new product, there might be incremental growth there. I guess the thing that really has underpinned Gladstone in the last probably 3 years has been all the infrastructure works that have gone on. Now, as we progress more into that production side of things, there'll be a much more stable workforce. And I think when we see how that's actually going to pan out, that'll determine just how much upside's in that market.
So would you consider Gladstone to be a good investment option?
Oh, look, we generally don't make recommendations on where people should or shouldn't invest. I think they need to look at their own sort of personal circumstances.
Yes.
However, what I would say, though, is that every market generally has opportunities within it. And when you've got a market like Gladstone, which appears to be nearing the bottom of its cycle, it is worth investigating. And if you can find something that represents good value for you and has the opportunity for good long-term rents, then, it's definitely worth having a look at for sure.
Yeah. Matthew, just to finish off this chat, what would be your comment overall about the mining regions?
Look, my concern over the mining regions has been the level of supply that spruikers have pushed people into. And there's been this thought that you're a sophisticated investor if you can invest from anywhere in Australia in a place that, that worries me. Like for the price of a $400 or $500 return airfare, you actually get to go and have a look and get a great understanding of what's going on. We've got an Australian dollar which is falling, which is certainly going to help things like coal prices and iron ore prices. So they are worth having a look at. But what I would say to your readers and your listeners is that there is a very good question that you need to be asking these people that are pushing these agendas. Ask them if they've ever been to that location. Because if they've never been to that location, it's very, very difficult for them to actually understand what it is that they're selling.
That's one of the points that you highlight, I think, with your company, is that you've got boots on the ground. You actually go and visit these places to see what it's like.
We do. We spend a lot of time in regional Queensland. We spend a lot of time in the capital cities around the country, and as a result of that, we generally have a pretty good handle on what's actually happening locally. And with that, you can generally see whether markets are up, down, or indifferent.
Matthew, thank you so much for your time. It's been very valuable.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.